I'm really cold. I'm really cold, so I'm bundled up in my bed for this episode, and this is just how it's gonna be. I'm also tired. I'm tired, and I wasn't gonna record this evening, but I don't have any other day that I'm gonna be able to record, so I'm here. And I'm cuddled up and bundled up in my bed and underneath the covers, and I'm comfy. And this is the episode. So just, I don't know. I was going to say bear with me, but it's literally my podcast and I get to be chill. And yeah, the AC's on. I like to have it cold when I'm going to sleep. I know I'm literally like, I'm freezing, but I do. I like to have it cold. I like it around like 71, 72, but I keep it at like 74, 75 when I go to work. So it's not just like running all day. So yeah, so I have to go to sleep in like an hour and a half-ish. So I am trying to cool it down a little early so the AC is not on the whole time when I'm trying to sleep. So sorry if you hear the AC in the background. I'm trying to cool things down before I have to go to sleep. But I was at work today and it was a good day. Technically I say I was the manager on duty. I was manager on duty for opening and for like the morning before our GM got there. I like being the manager on duty. I've kind of been enjoying being in more of a leadership role, and it's not like I feel like necessarily superior to anybody. Like, it's not like that. It's just I don't know. I feel good about being. I don't know. I feel good about being in a leader role. Like I'm like a little boss. I'm a little boss, and it's fun. It's fun and it's cool, and there have not been, I'm trying to think if there have been any instances in my life where I've felt like a boss, where I've felt like a leader. I don't know that there are any experiences that I can draw from where I'm like, yeah, I was leading the pack. I was going to say alpha male because I said pack, and then I started thinking about wolves. And I was like, I don't know. Yeah, no. But yeah, I don't think there are any other instances I can pull from where I've been just like this boss lady. So this is a cool position for me to be in. Not that I've been in this position before, but this time around, I'm getting the opportunity to kind of lead things a little. So like I get to put people in their spots for the day, and I get to initiate breaks. Oh wow. And then I'm like in charge of money to some degree. Like I count the registers in the morning, and then I count them midday. And I give change, and I have a key to the store and a key to the drawers. Ooh! I mean, I've had a set of keys before, but yeah. So I feel a bit like a leader, and I like it. I like the leadership role. And it's kind of my first go at that kind of position. And it makes me nervous. It gives me anxiety. And like it comes down to specific employees. If I have to ask certain employees to do something, I get very nervous about it. I get very anxious about it, especially if I know that I'm going to get pushback from it. But okay, anyway, I'm talking a lot about my leadership role of being a shift supervisor at a fast food joint. I'm a leader. No, but I think even small moments of leadership are still leadership. And even positions we're in that may seem insignificant compared to the rest. It's not insignificant. It wouldn't exist as a position if like you didn't have duties to fulfill within that position. So there's a purpose for it, and it's also just how you look at it. So I'm choosing to look at it as like, oh my gosh, I get to be in this leadership role, and it's cool. Because again, it's like the first time I've ever really felt like a leader. And it's kind of the first time that I've been confident in it. Like, I know I just said like I get anxious about it. Of course I do. I just have anxiety about a lot of things. That's just life in general for me, is I just get anxious about a lot of things. But yeah, it's the first time I've felt confident in myself. It's the first time that I've really like wanted to lead. So that's really cool. Because growing up, when like there were like group projects and stuff, I was always just like, okay, somebody else do the stuff. Somebody else lead, someone else speak, someone else direct. It was always, I don't want any part of that. And that, part of it was just like I was really shy. And I was really shy, which is fine. It's okay. And I really just didn't want any attention on me. I was very much like, please just don't look at me. Don't talk to me. Leave me alone. My cat's like, what the heck are you doing? What? I'm doing a podcast. Dorothy, I love you. So, anyway, yeah, I'm being a leader, and it's fun, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah. So hi. Hello from my bed. Even though all the episodes are from my bed, this is the first episode that I'm just like straight up laying down and chilling underneath my covers, because like I said, I am tired. I work long days, and which is fine. It's fine. I don't mind working my life away. I mean, to an extent, I do mind, but it is good money. I'm car shopping this weekend. I think actually, I don't think I've shared in my episodes yet. I think I talked about it on my other channel in one of my most recent videos. It should be up. It might not be up. I've just been posting on my other channel. I might link that down below. It's just, I've been posting like little talks and stuff. But, yeah, my moped got stolen. My moped got stolen, and I filed a police report, and it's just like, it was taken overnight. I woke up, got ready for work, got my layers on, got my helmet, my gloves, my mask on, went outside as I normally do, and I looked, and I was just like, it wasn't there in the parking spot, and I was like, oh, it got stolen. Okay. Which was a risk anyway with the part of town that I live in. And just the fact that it's like a 300-pound, if that, like a 300-pound vehicle, two-wheel vehicle. It's just, yeah, it was a risk. I had it for almost 2 years, so not bad. If you ask me, 2 years, and that thing didn't get yanked. Almost 2 years. So, I mean, yeah. But yeah, I filed a police report, and I feel like it was probably taken for its parts. I don't think anyone's going to be driving a pink moped around that they stole. I mean, I guess you could paint it and then just, yeah, whatever. I don't know. I imagine it was just taken for parts, though. So that's fun. I was really bummed. And then I was just like, I was bummed for that day. And then the next day I was like, well, it just is what it is. And now I'm just like, okay, I've been wanting to get a car. The only reason I got a moped is because it was the only thing at the time that I could afford. I didn't have very good credit. that kind of thing. And so I've been rebuilding my credit for the past, since I've had the moped, so like the past couple of years, just about. I've been rebuilding my credit, working on that, and it's good. It's good now. So I'm excited. I'm going car shopping this weekend. I actually have the financial means to get a car. I'm not buying one, but I'm going to be leasing it. And I'm so freaking happy. I'm so happy because I wanted a car in the first place. I just couldn't afford it at the time. And my rates would have been ridiculous with my credit. So it's a lot better this time around. And I'm just excited. I'm going to have a car. It's been a long time. It's been years. It's probably been well, no, it hasn't been a decade, but it's probably been since like 2020, I want to say like 2018 since I've had my own vehicle, my own car, I mean. So it's been a good chunk of time and I'm ready. I'm ready to be back in a 4-wheel automobile. I really am though. Yeah. Not to say that wasn't grateful. I'm not grateful. Not to say that I wasn't grateful for being able to afford some kind of transportation. And my little pink girl, she got me around. We survived 2 winters together. Wait, 2 or 1? I think 2. Yeah. Oh God. And that was the plan. I was gonna save up money and get a car toward the end of this year, because I was like, okay, I'm not doing another winter on my moped. I just can't. It's miserable. Imagine driving in an open vehicle, 2 wheels, 18 degrees. You're bundled up to the max. Your snot is freezing behind 3 fucking face masks, and you've got a beanie on and your head is so freaking tight because you have a beanie on underneath your helmet. And then you've got 2 layers of gloves, heated gloves. You've got wires coming out of you because your heated gloves have to attach to a portable charger. And then you have, don't even get me started on literally all of the layers. All of the layers. Oh my gosh. Like I'm talking literally. Thermal leggings on top of those leggings, sweats on top of those, another pair of sweats on top of a onesie, a big pair of sweats over the onesie, and then you've got your tank top, shirt, long sleeve, thermal, other long sleeve on top of that, hoodie on top of that, jacket on top of that, then you've got the onesie on top of that, then you've got a big coat over the onesie. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and then you're still freezing your ass off because you're driving a 2-wheeled vehicle in 18-degree weather. Yeah. I don't know why I just did that. I'm sorry. Not trying to be like this isn't your fault. I'm like, yeah, I had to drive in the cold. What are you going to do about it? But yeah, I'm excited to go car shopping, and I'm excited to finally have a car again and to be able to afford one. And I'm starting school this summer. There's going to be a lot. So yeah, there's a lot that I'm going to be keeping up with, but I'm ready. I'm ready for, it's going to be hard. All of it's going to be hard. I mean, but I feel like good. I feel consistent. I feel consistent enough in terms of like taking care of myself and in terms of working and my habits and stuff. Like I feel like I've been consistent enough to be able to say like, I'm going to be all right. I got this. It's going to be hard, but like I can do this. Probably. Like, 78% sure I'm going to be fine. And on the other days, the other 22%, then I'm not okay. Like, I'll just not be okay, and I'll lay in bed like this and eat ice cream, which is what I was doing, and watch something funny and just, like, sleep a lot and ignore things for a while, and then I'll be fine again. Yeah.
You got me feeling a vibe. You got me feeling a vibe. Like how could I not think?
I just I felt like a little character today. Do you ever just feel like a little character? You're just like walking around and you're just like boop doop doop. Do you ever just feel like that is my hand and it just seems like, ooh, I don't know how to explain this, but I was walking at my job. I was like walking around and I was just like, I feel like a little character. I was like, I feel cute. I feel not necessarily animated, although I was kind of thinking along those lines of like character wise, but I was just like, I feel like I'm kind of in like a video game and life is the video game. And my job, what I was doing at the time, it was like, that's my task. That is my quest right now, is this thing that I'm doing, and I'm completing the task and finishing the quest. That's kind of how it felt today. And I think that's a fun out of reality experience to, I don't know, just let yourself engage in sometimes. Obviously, I think it can go over I think it can be overboard, where you start just feeling like, I don't know, like everything's a video game, everything's a game, everything's a quest, everything is, I think that can probably get dangerous. When I had my psychotic break, that was one of the characteristics of it, is everything felt like a quest. Everything felt like, I don't know how to explain this, but in the state of mind that I was in, it was like, it felt like everything was exactly where it was supposed to be, and I was supposed to be doing certain things. So like if I came across somebody like on the street or something, or whatever I ended up doing, I was just like, this is what I was supposed to be doing. This is what I was meant to be doing. Like, this was put in my path for a reason, and I can't ignore it. It felt like this is a quest I have to complete. And there were a bunch of those throughout like the 2 weeks that I was just a little bit insane. Genuinely, a little bit insane. To this day, I can say that I don't really know what happened, but like part of me is just like, I don't really know what happened. But another part of me is like, well, I went through a very like emotionally and psychologically taxing experience around that time. And yeah, the only way I can describe my psychotic break is like my brain just checked out. My brain was like, hey, we're just going to stop working for a little while because we can't handle anymore. So things are going to be really weird for a bit. Eventually we'll get back around, but we're just going to be like out of commission for now. So like for now, you're just going to have to run on fumes, like literal fumes. And it's just going to be whatever your reality ends up being for this moment of time is just, just roll with it. So I did, and it was quite the ride. I've never had an experience like that in my life. Never up until that moment, and never again after that have I had an experience like that where I just felt pretty much insane. Like, yeah. I don't want to go into too much detail, but maybe I'll talk about my psychotic break if you guys are curious about it. It's definitely it is a one-time experience I've had in my life, and I've worked very, very hard on my mental health, and I've worked on boundaries for myself emotionally and psychologically. So I never, ever have an experience like that again, because it scares the hell out of me to think that, oh shit, that can happen. That can happen. I can feel like that. That can happen to me. That's crazy. That's crazy. So never want that to happen again. Never want to feel like that again. I just never want to feel like my reality is just not. I never want to feel like I'm crazy, but it feels so real, if that makes sense. I never want to be in a state again like that, where it's like, obviously the shit I'm thinking about and what I'm saying and what I'm doing is crazy. But in the moment of time and the state of mind I was in, it was completely just like made complete sense to me. It was just normal. It was my reality. I never want to be in a space where I just don't know. I don't know. I just don't want to be in a space where I've like lost my head. Never want to be there again. It's crazy. It was a crazy experience because I can look back on it now, obviously. And even after that break, like the psychotic break, like ended, I can look back on it now and just be like, whoa, whoa, that was a wild ride. And that was a very interesting state of mind. And that's pretty terrifying. That's pretty terrifying that I can get to that point. Let's never, ever, ever, ever get to that point again. So I've worked really hard to maintain myself and keep myself at a good level. Obviously I have bad days and stuff, but nothing compared to that, nothing at all. But I mean, that breaking point was a really huge shift for me, a very pivotal moment of my life where it was like, okay, now what do you do? We're going to keep doing exactly the same things that we've done for years. And I think after that period anyway, it was like, nothing can ever go back. Nothing can ever be the same again. Now that things are how they are, now that I've seen my reality for what it is, and I've just been forced to like accept it finally. That's kind of what broke me. It's like I saw my reality and I was like, oh, this is real, and this sucks, and this hurts so much, and this is like so devastating, and I'm heartbroken, and I don't know how to deal with this. So I didn't. I just checked out and went insane for a couple of weeks. And like that was my first step of like finally accepting my reality in my life for what it was. And really it was just kind of accepting that, to give like slight context, it was like just accepting that like my family was never going to be the same again. My family was never going to be the same. As much as I wanted it to be good, to be better, it just wasn't. It was actually horrible. It was worse. It was so bad. And yeah, so that was kind of just the first time I accepted my broken family, basically. The first time that it really just smacked me in the face and was like, this is real. This isn't going anywhere. I don't think it's going to get better anytime soon. And this is how it is. And it was completely heartbreaking. Yeah. Anyway, do you ever feel like a little character? I think it's fun. I think it's fun to just imagine. There was a time in my life when it was when I kind of first started exploring things like spiritually for myself, and I just started like working on myself mentally, figuring shit out for the first time, really, of how I wanted to be, how I wanted to do things differently for myself. Anyway, yeah. So there was this time in my life where it was this period of just like, I don't feel like I have an imagination. And I hated it. It sucked. It sucked because I reached this point where it was like, I don't even know what I like anymore. I don't know what I like. I don't know what I don't like. I don't know what I want to do. I don't even know if I enjoy this hobby anymore. Because I was like trying to do things that I had done before that brought me joy. And so I was trying to do these things and I was like, I don't even know. And this was after my psychotic break. And this was after this was after I inquired about going to therapy and getting back on antidepressants, and inevitably couldn't get back on those. And I was just figuring shit out for myself. And I felt like I had no imagination. My thoughts could only go so far. My imagination could only go so far. I was unclear about likes and dislikes and so many things that I was just like, this is crazy, because I was certain on these things before. I was certain that these things brought me joy. I was certain that these things didn't. Like, I was certain that this and this and this, and, you know, there was a certainty to my life until there wasn't. And without that certainty, it was scary and it was strange and it was kind of sad, because I was at a point where I was really grieving a past version of me, and I was like working through, and I was becoming a different version of myself. I was becoming a more healed version of myself, and that's a really, in my experience, it's a really tough journey to be on. I think healing in general is just it's like, we think about why no one else in the past, I'm not saying no one else in the past, but think about why it's like now our generations like are now starting to heal. It's just, I feel like it's such a hard thing to do, and that's why it hasn't been done yet. Or like up until now, up until recently, we haven't really focused on. Sorry, I was scaring myself, the blanket. I feel like it reached a point where if we didn't start healing, things were going to get really bad. Like, I feel like things had gotten really bad already. Like, I feel like healing eventually just broke through, because it was like, hey, now you have to do this now. There's no avoiding it anymore. We have to do it. We have to. I don't know. That's just kind of how I feel about it. I feel like if healing was easier to do, it would have already been happening. And I'm not to say that it hasn't been happening, like for older generations, but I think it's much more prevalent now. And it's just, yeah, I think it's incredibly difficult. Because when you think about healing, what does that even mean? What does it mean to heal yourself? Like, what? First of all, that's the like, even just thinking about, like, what does healing myself mean? Like, that in itself is difficult to understand, difficult to grasp, of like, what does it even mean to be healing? I think it just, I'll explain it how I know it from my situation. So I treated myself really, really poorly growing up. I didn't have much guidance. I've talked about this a bit before. I didn't have much guidance, especially emotional guidance. I was very dismissed and neglected for how I felt and for my thoughts, because they were out of the ordinary. I had weird thoughts. I was a weird kid, and I just, like, being myself was off the table. And not being able to be yourself, I think. First of all, not being able to be yourself, and then like being shamed for who you are. Being shamed for being you. And then just so much. Just so much. I can't get into it all. But just so much. Just not being accepted for you, especially by the people, especially by family, like people who are supposed to love you and accept you, when they're like, ugh, don't do that. Don't be that. Don't act like that. Oh God, please. Yeah. So yeah, I was taught pretty early on to just like not like myself. Basically. I was taught pretty early on that I suck. But yeah, so that was a very damaged part of me, was just this oh my gosh, I can't even think of the word. Conditioning. There we go. This conditioning of just like, you suck and don't be yourself, because yourself is not good and it's bad. So let's just like not be you. How about that? And that's all I've ever wanted to be, is just be me. And I think that's I think that's healing. For me, in my experience, I think healing is just being more of yourself and being able to accept it. Being able to accept you in whatever way that comes. And I've had to learn that because I self-harmed when I was growing up. And when I started learning and doing like inner family, inner child work, there was this part of me that would come up that would, because I would get thoughts of like self-harm and impulses for self-harm, and I'd be like, no, like trying to push it away, like, no. Just basically being like, no, this is wrong, let's not think about this. But then as I started doing that kind of healing work, like the inner family work and like being my own loving parent, that work has been incredible for me, by the way. The inner child, inner family, loving parent, it has been the thing that has helped the most, is just learning about that and implementing practices of being my own, of loving myself, like loving my child self as an adult, and just loving my family and loving inner parts of me and versions of me that needed it. And so like I'm the adult in the lives of me as a child, me as a teenager, even me as a young adult, you know. But anyway, yeah, so I had this part of me that would think about self-harm, and this part of me, because that's how I coped for a lot of emotionally difficult situations growing up. That's how I coped. And so this part of me that would think about those things and have those impulses, I started just giving space to that. I started giving space to these versions of myself, these inner parts of me that would come up. I just started giving them space, and anytime they'd come up and I'd feel like, oh, I feel so sad, or I feel like hurting myself, or I feel so bad right now. Anytime those feelings would come up, because sometimes they would just come up out of the blue, like I was fine, and then I'd start feeling a particular way, and I'm like, okay. But since I'd been learning about inner family work, inner child work, it's kind of like I knew what to do now. It wasn't just like, oh, why am I feeling like this? But that's a great place to start, is just figuring, asking yourself, why am I feeling sad all of a sudden? Why am I feeling angry all of a sudden? Yeah, that's a great place to start. But again, since I've been learning about the inner family at that time, when I started feeling like my teenage self would feel, right? When I started having feelings of like, I want to hurt myself, I started having thoughts of self-harm, impulses of self-harm. I was like, oh, this is my inner teenager coming up. This is the part of me that hasn't been healed, a part of me that needs love, a part of me that needs acceptance. So I started looking at it that way. So whenever I would feel those feelings, those impulses, having those thoughts, I'd make space for it. I would just like sit with it. I'd sit and I'd make space for it. And I would be observing. I'd be observant of it rather than consumed by it. I wouldn't let myself be consumed by it like I had before in the past. I would just observe and I would make space. So sometimes I would literally just sit down and just let myself feel all of it. But under the understanding that it's like, okay, I'm the adult here and I'm allowing myself to feel this because there's a part of me that needs to just be able to feel like this and to know that it's okay, to just be accepted, to just know like, hey, if you feel sad, if you feel like hurting yourself, if you feel like this, it's okay. I'm making space for that. I'm making space for those feelings. Finally, I'm just accepting that, hey, this is how you feel right now, and that's totally okay. And the big thing that I would say, I'd say it in my head and I would say it out loud. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I would give myself the space to feel whatever was coming up. I would sit with it. I would let it be. And then I would just think it and say it out loud and let that part of myself know, hey, I'm here for you. Because honestly, for me specifically, that phrase right there has been the most healing. Because that's all I needed. That's all I needed. Back then, growing up, even being a kid, a neglected, dismissed, weird kid, and then a really shy, emotional, self-destructive, isolated teenager who didn't know what the hell to do with all of her feelings and was just kind of shoved away for all of it. It's just like, I just needed somebody there. Just needed somebody there. Even if it was someone who didn't necessarily know what to do either. It's just like, I just needed to know, like, hey, I'm here for you. So I'm that adult for those versions of myself that says, hey, I'm here for you. And I'm allowing all the space that you need, the time that you need to grieve, to hurt, to be angry, to be sad, to be curious, to be funny, to be playful. I'm allowing the space for that. And I'm allowing those feelings because I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. And ever since I started doing that, I mean, learning about the inner family work, like that was so crucial for me. It was recommended, actually, it was a book. It's called The Loving Parent Guidebook. And I'm still going through it. But it was recommended to me by a therapist. And just learning about the inner family system and stuff, and inner family work, just learning about it and doing some of the work involved with that and understanding what it means has been immensely helpful and healing. So, yeah. I'm sleepy. That's how I'm feeling right now. And I'm going to make space for that. And I'm going to acknowledge that. But, yeah. I think that's it for me. Yeah. I know this episode was kind of a little bit all over the place, and I talked about a lot of stuff, and I talked about my life. I try not to just rant about my life on my podcast episodes, but sometimes that's just what ends up happening. And I also think, like, might as well enjoy it too. Not that I don't enjoy my other episodes where I have things written down that I want to speak about. And I had the, like, being a little character. I wrote that down while I was at work. I put it in my notes for talking points for the pod. So it is something that I wanted to discuss. And then what we just talked about with, making space for the hurt versions of ourselves and what healing really is and what it really means. That was just kind of spur of the moment. It's because I started talking about my psychotic break, and that's around the time that I really started exploring what the heck healing actually was. Like, what does this mean? So, yeah. Hey, thanks for being here for episode 16. Wow. Thanks for being here. Oh, I bought Dreamlight Valley. It's been fun. My first character in the valley is Wally. I have a Wally purse that my best friend got me for my birthday. I love it. Wally is so stinking cute. He's so cute. Oh, just a shy little robot. Oh, just likes his little plant. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. I love him. It's one of my favorite feel-good movies. Okay. The sun is beginning to set and it looks so perfect outside, and I'm just gonna lie here and get sleepy. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna lie here and get sleepy in the quiet, in the silence. I love it. Just look at the pond and the ducks and the slight breeze in the trees. Look at the pond and the ducks and the slight breeze in the trees. Okay. Good night, folks. I'll see you in the next episode. Again, thank you for joining me for this week's episode of The Bedside Table. I hope you enjoyed. I'm really comfy cozy, and I hope you are too. See you next week. Bye.
You got me feeling a fire.